Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. Here I'm going to do a review of this thing, which is the Type 59, which is a legendary, um, grade Tier 8 Chinese medium tank. A lot of people will know of the Type 59. It was once in the Wargaming shop for the PC, and then they removed it, and it's been rarely coming back ever since. So here on World of Tanks Blitz, you could get it twice, I think now. Once was in the actual shop when they first released it, and then the second one was in the Blitz Fair. So during the Blitz Fair, there were several tanks on sale, such as the FCM, you got the KV-5 IS-3 Defender, various other things, and amongst them was this, the Type 59. So I thought on the last couple of days, why not? If you've watched my KV-5 review, you will know that I got these two together. So I got the KV-5 at the same time as the Type 59. So how does the Type 59 look in World of Tanks Blitz? Well, as you can see, it looks like this. But that's not what I meant, obviously. I meant talking about the stats. So I do not have any other Tier 8 medium tanks. As you can see, all I have are heavy tanks here at Tier 8. And the only legit Tier 8 of those is the Tiger 2. So yeah, this is obviously a premium tank, so it's one of my many non-legit Tier 8s. But it's a rare thing to have and to see, so it goes into the collection. But how does this stack up? Well, let's have a look. 1,300 HP, which for a medium, let's have a look at other Tier 8 medium tanks here. T26E4, that's got 1,400 HP. Let's compare it to something such as the T69, which has got 1,400. Let's have a look at Germany. I believe they've got the Panther 88. No, they do not. Ah, okay. But the Panther 2, there we go. Let's have a look with the Panther 2. With the upgraded turret, that gets 1,450 HP. Let's have a look at Russia. What does Russia have? Mother Russia has got the T44, and the T44 gets 1,300? No, 1,400 HP, sorry. About the Centurions here. Tier 8, Centurion 1, with the Mark III turret, 1,450, so yeah, it's got the lowest HP out of all of the Tier 8 medium tanks in Blitz. However, it does have decent armour. Only 100 at the front, but it is sloped 80 side, 45 rear, and then the turret has got 200 at the front, 150 at the sides, and 65 at the rear. So yeah, the rear of the turret not very strong, neither is the rear or sides of the tank, but the front of the hull, the front of the turret and the side of the turret as well, to some extent, is very well armoured, excuse me. So that effectively means that you can go hull down very, very well in this tank, because it's got very strong turret, which is something that a lot of the higher tier Russian and Chinese and Japanese, well, to a lesser extent the Japanese I suppose, and I guess the British as well, medium tanks have got, which is that their turrets are all very strong. You've got the Centurion turrets, they're very strong from the front. You've got the T-54s of the Russians, they've also got pretty strong turrets. I suppose not the Japanese, but the Type 59 definitely is one of those tanks. And the front of the hull is only it's only 100 frontal armor. However, it has got very good effective sloping, which means that angling the front of the tank will net you a couple of bounces. Plus, of course, you've got the whole turret. But then, the thing with the turret is that this is a weak spot. Of course, the old machine gunner's cupola, the commander's cupola, and also the machine gunner's cupola to a lesser extent. But also, the like the Chinese tanks, such as the Glacial 112, mounted up the front here, is where the ammo racks are located. So if you can penetrate through the sides of about here, just past the tracks, and as well on the Type 59 around here, you'll net a fuel tank damage and also a possible fire, because the fuel tank's located right next to the driver. So yeah, he's gonna have a fun time. But yeah, so possible fires from the front, but overall it's a pretty strong tank from the front. The armour is decent enough. It weighs 36 tons with a 520 horsepower engine, which means it does have a pretty good power to weight, and it also means it has got a 56 km/h speed limit. 47.71 hull traverse speed with a 43 degrees per second turret traverse, which is pretty good. It's a pretty mobile medium tank. The engine that it gets, 520 engine power, 12% chance of fire and impact. As for the turret, 260 meters view range, which is pretty good. It has got a load limit of 39 tons, 0.80, which is pretty good. So of course you can fit as much equipment as you want on here, and it'll be able to take it. And then we come to the gun. Well, let's look at the characteristics, because I didn't do that. It's got 47% protection, 58% firepower, 77% shot effectiveness, which is pretty good, and a pretty good 58% maneuverability. And all of that firepower is all made up of this gun, which is the 100mm Type 59 gun, which has got a 7.10 rate of fire, rounds per minute. It's got pretty good pen, 181 with AP, 241 with APCR, 50 with high explosive. It's got pretty good damage, 280 with AP and APCR, 350 with high explosive. It's not the most accurate thing, but then again, it's not the most inaccurate either, 0.37. The aim time, 5.1 seconds, which is, it's not the best, but then again, it's not the worst either, so it's got pretty standard aim time and dispersion. I mean, rate of fire, it could fire a bit quicker, but then let's have a compare. What does the Super Pershing get up to? It has got 8.69. What are we comparing to? 7, isn't it? Yeah, 7.10. Then again, this is 100, that's 90, so looking to beat 7 for these medium tanks. That's an autoloader, so it doesn't count. The Pershing, there we go. Pershing with the upgraded turret gets 1,440. As for the Top Gun, there you go, 90mm, 8.21 rate of fire. Then again, smaller caliber of gun. Panther 2 with the Top 88, yes, gets a 9.63 rate of fire. Then again, that's almost 20mm less. Indian Panzer with the 9cm. Yeah, 9 there, pretty high rate of fire, those German mediums. T-44, does that get with its 100mm, gets a 6.96, or with the 122, a much lower. As for the British, they're 20-pounders on things like the Centurion. That gets 10.79 rate of fire. So it's not a very quick firing thing. It does lose out on DPM, but it is a rather large caliber of gun to be mounting on a medium compared to the other tier 8s. For example, the Germans mount a maximum of 90mm. The Americans as well get a 90mm. Only the Russians really can beat this with a 122, but they also get 100, so it's got one of the biggest guns at tier 8 mediums, and it's pretty mobile, which means that you can flank people. So even if you don't like the 181 standard shell penetration, you can always flank out people and get to them that way, so that's always nice. It holds 34 rounds as well, which means that which means that it should be able to last you any battle. As for equipment fit, gun rammer, of course you're going to want them. Improved vents is always useful, go ahead and bung that on. vertical stabilizer may not be a bad idea on this tank, so go ahead, put on a vertical stabilizer. You could mount an enhanced gun lane drive, but then again, that's up to you. Wet ammo rack and tanks filled with CO2 for 50% ammo and fuel tank durability respectively. Enhanced suspension if you want to go barreling around over slopes and you don't want your tracks to be blown off, then sure, go ahead and fit that if you want. Binos and camo net, maybe not so. It may not be a particularly bad idea, but then again, 0.37 accuracy is the most accurate thing, so as a sniper it may lose out on some of its good points, such as the maneuverability. But then if you really want to have the improved view range, go coated optics rather than binos and camo. Spore liner, probably not. I would advise against a spore liner on this, and then a toolbox is just always something that's useful if you can't think of something to put in a slot. So there's that. As for provisions, you've got standard or improved fuel for +3 or 10% respectively to engine power tire traverse, which you could, activate automatically permanent throughout battle, which is something you could put on. Then got standard combat rations or improved combat rations for +3 or 10% respectively to crew mastery. Once again, activate automatically permanent throughout a battle, restricted to Chinese vehicles. So yeah, of course, crew mastery. And then you've of course got the protective kit, 15% to protection of crew from injuries, 10% speed and module repair, 20% fire protection, 10% ammo and fuel tank durability. So go ahead, put that on if you want. So you've got your provisions there. I don't use provisions, but if you want them, then they are there. And then you've got your consumables. You've got the repair kit, first aid kit, and fire extinguisher. Then you've also got the engine power boost, 20% engine power for 15 seconds, 75-second cooldown. Then you've got adrenaline, 20% to load speed, 10% chance of damaging enemy vehicle modules for 15 seconds with a 75-second cooldown. And then you've got the multi-purpose restoration pack, which extinguishes fire, repairs all damaged modules, and heals all crew members. So basically, these three rolled into one. And if you're wondering, wow, why don't you just carry one of them and one of each of these? Well, that's a good question. And if you've watched one of my reviews before on Blitz, you will know what I'm about to say. But if this is your first review, welcome. Please stick around. And this is why I don't mount one of these, and these two, why I instead go for the default repair, first aid, fire. And that's because, say you get your track blown off out in the open, you need to get out of here, and you've got a multi-purpose, an adrenaline, and a speed boost. What do? You burn your multi-purpose restoration pack. So you repair your track with this, off you go. 10 seconds later you get hit and set on fire. Then what do? You can't put out the fire because you've used your multi-purpose restoration pack and you got these two, which aren't going to help you, so you're going to keep burning, which is why I instead decide to go repair kit, first aid kit, fire extinguisher, because then I can repair my track. Then if I get set on fire, the auto fire extinguisher will come out and do it for me. So that's why I go with those three individually. And as for the crew, you can't say much for Blitz, because Blitz does things differently for crew. They have all sorts of different crew modules, so I mean, yeah, there's no right or wrong as to what to train, because you'll eventually train all of them. But yeah, so that is the Type 59, a pretty rare medium tank to see about on the Tier 8 battlefield. It's a very nice medium tank. It's pretty quick. It's got a damaging 100mm gun, which even if it is a bit on the slow side, it's still a very powerful gun. And it's got pretty good armour considering. And it's just a very solid, versatile medium tank. So yeah, I'll thank you for watching.